Hi, I'm Rebecca Bach-Harcel. Let's talk about The Lady of Shalott, Part 3 by Alfred Lord Tennyson. A bow shot from her bower eaves, he rode between the barley sheaves. The sun came dazzling through the leaves, and flamed upon the brazen greaves of bold Sir Lancelot. Alright, so first of all, a bow shot. This is the distance between the Lady of Shalott in her tower and where Sir Lancelot is going by. It's as far as you might be able to get an arrow if you were to use a bow and arrow, and shoot your arrow. So it's a bow shot distance. And that's where he rode through the barley sheaves, these sheaves of grain, and the sun came dazzling through the leaves. Throughout this whole section, you're going to hear words like dazzling and sparkling because Sir Lancelot is portrayed as a bright knight in shining armor, for real, shining in the sunlight. So the sun comes dazzling, and it flamed upon the brazen greaves. And the greaves are part of his armor. The lower leg is covered with greaves. So he is shining already. The sun is shining on that part of his armor. A red cross knight forever kneeled to a lady in his shield, that sparkled on the yellow field beside remote Shalott. So this reminds us that Sir Lancelot is, one of King Arthur's finest, because he has a red cross and he kneels to the lady in his shield, the Virgin Mary. So he's a devoted, upstanding knight. And remember the word sparkled here, sparkled on the yellow field, again with the sparkling and the shining. The gemmy bridle glittered free, like to some branch of stars we see hung in the golden galaxy. So the bridle of the horse, the part around the head of the horse, you have the bit, the bridle, and then the reins. The bridle has gems on it, jewels, so it's sparkling too, and it's compared to a branch of stars that we would see in the galaxy. The bridle bells rang merrily as he rode down to Camelot. So also the bridle has bells. So this is a beautiful sounding and beautiful looking sight. The horse itself is decorated. And from his blazoned baldric slung a mighty silver bugle hung, and as he rode his armor rung beside remote Shalott. So his strap, the baldric, is a strap from the shoulder down to the hip, and on it he has a bugle that's slung, and it's not just any bugle, it's silver, so it's shiny too. And his armor rung, the author tells us. So the armor is not clanking and creaking, it's ringing, because of course that's more beautiful. So he looks beautiful, he sounds beautiful. All in all, all in the blue unclouded weather, thick jeweled shone the saddle leather. The helmet and the helmet feather burned like one burning flame together as he rode down to Camelot. So the unclouded weather, blue sky is a perfect setting. Then we see that the saddle is thick with jewels too. So not only is the bridle jeweled, but the saddle that he's sitting on also has jewels. And then his helmet and helmet feather are burning like a flame. That's the sunlight shining on it so brightly. And it says that he rode down to Camelot, that's where he's headed, and this bright shining helmet and flame description of the helmet is now going to be compared to a natural phenomenon, as often through the purple night, below the starry clusters bright, some bearded meteor trailing light moves over still Shalott. So the helmet flaming is compared to a meteor blazing across the sky, trailing light, bearded because of its tail. And so that's what Lancelot is compared to, a meteor. And certainly it is flying through Lady Shalott's life, as we'll see in a little while. His broad, clear brow in sunlight glowed, on burnished hooves his war horse trode. Okay, let me stop there. His brow is his forehead, and it's glowing in the sunlight. And then even the hooves of the horse are burnished. That's like polished and shining too. From underneath his helmet flowed his coal-black curls as he rode down to Camelot. So he has curls under the helmet there that are black. From the bank and from the river he flashed into the crystal mirror. Tira lira by the river, sang Sir Lancelot. So this is the moment when he makes an appearance in the mirror. The crystal mirror is Lady of Shalott's mirror inside of her tower. So she sees him, and she hears him too, because he's singing Tira lira. And this is from a bit of a song in Shakespeare, one of the plays. So he's singing something pleasant. It doesn't mean anything special, but he's singing, he's bright, and it makes a big impression on her, and she makes the decision of her life in the next stanza. She left the web, she left the loom, she made 3 paces through the room. She saw the water lily bloom, she saw the helmet and the plume, she looked down to Camelot. So she looked. She's not supposed to look. She's supposed to just see things through the mirror. But she left the web, her weaving. She left the loom where she's, doing these threads and all, weaving. She made 3 paces through the room. So just in 3 steps, she was across the room at the real window. And she looked out and she sees the water lily bloom, which I think is a symbol of herself blooming at this point, opening to the real world. And she sees the helmet, the plume on Sir Lancelot, and she looks down to Camelot. So she also sees the city of Camelot, which she's been knowing about and hearing about for her whole life. So it's the fabled city, the shining armor knight, and flower. So she really sees these things for the first time, but now she pays the price. Out flew the web and floated wide. The mirror cracked from side to side. The curse is come upon me, cried the Lady of Shalott. Oh, poor woman. So the curse is coming upon her because she broke the rule about looking. So her weaving's out the window in a literal way. It actually goes out, flies out the window. It's floating in the river, and her mirror that has shown her the world is now cracked all the way across. This is definitely more than just bad luck. This is her entire life as she knows it has just changed forever. And she says, yes, the curse has come upon her. So she knows that this is it. She's broken the rules and she's sacrificed herself in order to live reality for just a moment. So we'll find out the gripping conclusion in part 4. We'll see what happens to the Lady of Shalott and how the curse plays out. I hope you'll join me.